Welcome to Gaming with Alcala. We are going to try to run through a little bit of a demo here on Planet Capture IO. First thing I'd like to say though is please like, subscribe, and hit the bell if you want other notifications. Today is actually the day after Christmas, December 26th here, 2020. Uh, and I just want to make everybody know that if you haven't tried it yet, I assume it's still going on, that if you type Merry Christmas into chat, you will get a bonus. I released a little video yesterday about that. But if you type Merry Christmas in, it should give you 12 million metal and 12 million viridium. So if you haven't done that, you can give it a shot yet. I don't know how long that's going to last, but that is something that uh, I released a video on. So if you want more tips like that, please hit the bell so that way you know when I release a new video. Anyway, for those of you who are new, this video is more for you with how you get set up, how you start going, just some different things to work on and go from there. Let's start up here. We'll start at the top here. We got Malvernit, I guess. Malvernit. That there is basically what builds your factories and stuff. So these factories that are around your planets here would be these in here. And your guns, I believe, also take it. Now, as you can tell, right now I am maxed out in guns, and these things here, all my factories, so you can't actually see that, but that's what it's used for. I have 30 of the top guns around my home world. I do not recommend doing that right off the bat. I'll get into reasons for that later, but it eats up a lot of economy, which kind of hurts you. This planet disappears anyway, so when you log off for 15 minutes, it disappears. So there's no real sense in that you need to have this much guns around your home planet unless you're in uh, a very hostile map where they're even attacking home worlds. But that's not the norm anyway. I would say if you have blue guns, you probably only need like 5 to 10 blue guns because you just log out and your planet disappears. But anyway, let's get into metal. Metal's used in just about everything with your factories. Um, then this stuff here is all used with titanium. But then when you get into your ships, each ship takes, like that one there, the mechas take 99 metal and 49 viridium with 25 seconds to create. And you can kind of see all that different stuff with them. Viridium is also what you use for your ships and stuff. I don't know. I guess it's like crystals and Vespian gas in StarCraft, or a lot of times you use metal and gold, or whatever. But they're your two resources that you have to keep up to work on that. Your fuel, self-explanatory. Let me grab these ships, and as I move them around, you'll see the fuel start dropping down because your ships are using it. Um, it's probably more like electricity that's in the air because no matter what ship you use, using it pulls it from wherever. Now, if that ever gets down to zero when you're flying ships around, your ships pretty much just stop, which can be bad depending where they stop. So that's more important as you get a lot more ships and you build up and go from there, but that's what that is. Economy, that is pretty much your buildings. Each of your buildings here will take up economy, and then for whatever reason, your economy also is used up when you put guns. I don't understand why guns go into economy, but I guess it just has to do with what's around your planet, and since you're defending your economy, I'm assuming that's why. Um, Now, when you first start the game out, you start out with 1,000. I'm up a little bit higher. I'm at 2,500. So technically, I would be over with just my two planets. That's why I said with these guns, you don't really want to go too high with the guns because as you have, like this planet here has 9 guns, um, and it doesn't matter if they're the green, the blue, or the red guns. Each one's a different upgrade with them. It doesn't matter which one you use, it is always going to use the same amount. I think each gun um, uses 9 economy. So with 30 guns on my main here, that's 270 economy that my home planet is using just for the guns. That's why I was saying if you're low on economy, don't build a million guns around your planet, because you just log out anyway. So anyway, military, that's all your ships. So that just adds up all your different ships. If you look like these here Molwiskies, whatever, they use 25 military. You can see at the top it says it right in here. It says firepower 1 out of 50, 75 armor, weapon range 10, sight 7, military 25. That means every ship you make takes up 25 military. Piece of cake. Um, and then group 19, that means when you group them together, you can hold 19 in a group. Speed is 3, that means it's 3 times faster than your Pola here. And then fuel is how much fuel it takes when you create them. It is also how much fuel, I'm sorry, it is not how much fuel it takes to create them. It is how much fuel they use when they're flying. That's what I'm trying to say. Um, as far as I know, the only ship that takes fuel when it's created are these Pola. As you can see, it takes 11,350 fuel when you make it. I believe that's the only one, um, just to keep a note of that. Bases is actually saying how many planets you can have, and I have this one and I have this one up here. Um, Something to keep track of is when you make a conquest ship, it takes up a base slot. Um, that is so that you don't make a whole bunch of different conquest ships to take over a whole bunch, and then you actually end up getting more than your max. Now I increased mine by 2. Everybody else starts out with 10, and so did I, and then I just increased it. Groups is like this here. There's a group. Let me go ahead and make some more here, and I'll show you what happens. These have a max of 7 in their group. Once you get to 7, then what will happen is it'll actually create a second group. So you can't have more than 7 Pola in one group. Some of these only have 1 per group, such as the sweeper set. Yeah, something like that. They have a group of 1, so if you make a second one, you cannot group them together. So when you reach your max group, you can't make any more ships. Um, Let me think here. And then obviously titanium, that creates all this stuff in here. So like your upgrades for your better guns, your repair crane, which actually heals your ships, which is very handy if you have big ships. Your extensions, everything, all this stuff in here, all that stuff is ran by titanium. It all costs titanium to use it. Yeah, like there, that Pola just came out, and you'll see it will group up. And if I made another one, then it will not be able to group up. This here will be annoying, but what it is you got to find the square and you click it. And it's just annoying. It's a way to make sure that people aren't having some robot constantly making ships, because as you make ships, which is my next thing I'm getting into, these Pola especially, if you see, it says the Polydorus has 45 already built today. It says build 10 pieces and you will get 1 titanium for free. That does not mean build 10, you get 1 for free. That means if you build 20, you get a second one for free. If you build 30, you get another one. So if I make 5 more so that I have 50 of them built, then I will actually get another titanium, and you can keep collecting the titanium. The way I got 3,145 was not by building 30,000 Pola. I actually bought some. Let me see here. As far as grouping goes, some people have problems with this, and I completely understand. Now, with the grouping here, if I take these and I right click on this Pola, it will actually separate, and it'll send one down to that one and connect it. So then that 6 becomes 2. So you can move them around from groups. The best way to do it though is to actually keep full groups and then just keep your spare one by itself or whatever. Now that's basically joining groups. Now the problem is, if all I had was this one group and not that one, I have no idea how to split them. I don't know that you can split them. So if you wanted to send whatever, three to check out what planet is there, and you want to send three of them in just to see what happens, because sometimes one doesn't make it. So if you want to put three together and send them in, I have no idea how to actually do that. Um, what we are going to do here is, let's go into uh, just kind of some of these menu things over here. A lot of this stuff makes sense. You can see here like where different ships are. I have some stuff in 302, that's why that's green. 310 is where we're at, and then you can just kind of go through that. And then the blue here is where my alliance has other ships and stuff too. So if you wanted to try to find them and meet up with them, other people in your alliance, that's how you do that. Sound login ally. I mean, you can, what you can do here is you can do this. This is just what my alliance is in. This is just my where I'm at, and so on and so forth. Log out makes sense. Alliance, you go into there and tells you all your alliance stuff. Um, Titanium. See, here's where I'm saying with the Christmas bonus, where you actually get, you know, that extra large bonus like that. And then these are your daily quests. If you can do these daily, they're huge, especially if you're getting 5 mil and 5 mil, both of them in that. This is basically attacking your green gun planets. This is your red gun planets. This is blue gun planets, and this is killing 10 ships. It says level 1, 2, and 3. Green are your low level. Red are your advanced defense, and then level 3 gives them further range and more damage. So any planet with them on, if you do a certain amount of damage, you get the rewards. It's that simple. Um, yeah, this here just shows you your alliance charts. It just kind of goes to your, you know, you can type in a name here, such as if I type my name in, it tells you my last couple attacks, where I lost stuff, and you know who's taken my bases, stuff like that. It just kind of gives that information. I'm in the alliance break even. I get this in here, just goes back to that page. Setup is a couple different things. I recommend actually having the home base. Um, that if you're creating um, like 3 times metal or something on your planet, that your planet will stay logged in. It won't log out after 15 minutes. So it stays on for 15 minutes, and if you have the production on, it stays logged in. The only problem with that is that makes your home planet a target, in which case then maybe you do want more defense and things on your planet. But if you keep the top one selected, um, after 15 minutes, your base just kicks out. So that's an option. Right now I have my ally chat deactivated during the video here. That way if they're trying to chat or whatever, then it doesn't distract me. Um, but yeah, for whatever reason, they like to open up 2 windows every time you do this kind of stuff, which is somewhat annoying. Um, Help files. This here has a whole bunch of stuff with frequently asked questions. This here goes into like when you have one base, you have it's 100% effective. Once you get a second base, you actually go down to 70%, so you lose 30% productivity. I'll get into a lot of that stuff more in later videos. I'm gonna kind of break this down into like I don't know 4 or 5 videos here. Um, and then this here, I recommend at least reading through it. It gives you a lot of information on the wormholes, what they do. These are all over the map. Uh, Performance tips, that usually doesn't come into play until you have huge fleets. Just some different things that happens with the alliance. Just so that way you know, like certain people get kicked. You're allowed a certain amount of members, but you're also allowed a certain amount of newbies. And you're a newbie if you have under like 500 points. Sorry, 1,000. If you have under 1,000 points, then you're considered a newbie, and then certain people get kicked. So if you get kicked out of the alliance, it's not necessarily your alliance's fault. Um, This here just kind of explains the mini maps between your enemy bases. So like I said, a lot of this stuff is very, very nice to read over just so that you understand what's going on. The group limits, this is how you raise your groups. The more bases you have, the higher your group limit is, so that you can have more stuff. And then this here is your some of your hotkeys here. Really, the only one that's very important to know is the page down. If you want to post wherever your mouse is at in chat, you want to hit page down. Now, if you don't have page down, they just added that you can hit the period. If you hit the period button, it will do the same thing now. So um, that's kind of nice too if you have a keyboard that doesn't have the page down. Um, One of the things that I would recommend doing in the beginning is obviously you need to get your um, economy and your military up, or you run into a dead end pretty quick here. Um, this here, if you get these, and I have bought two because you can see it says base command build up to level 3. Um, so it's level 3. So with that, I have gotten 2 extra, and that is why it says 2 out of 12 because I gained 2 bases. Getting that will raise that. Military Central here, that increases your max here where this says 4,000. That increases it by 100. Now, if you look there, it says Titanium 1. It will not be Titanium 1 for you. The first time you buy it, it's a lot more expensive. What happened is I had other bases. They had the Military Central on it. When they got blown up, it gave me 15 recoveries. The recoveries are only 1. So if you build these on another planet, they'll cost you 15, 17. I'm not sure exactly what they were anymore. But when you buy them and they get blown up, you get these recovery things that you can use on any other planet and rebuild it for 1 titanium. So you don't have to spend the 15 titanium next time. Same thing with these. This is for your economy though. That's how I got 2,500. Um, this one here is maxed out. I think on each planet you can only have, is it 10 of these? I'm not exactly sure. They allow you to have a certain extra on each planet. That's not each map. So if I came up to here and I wanted to increase it further, like it was saying max. Now, if you watch right here, it says build level 1, build level 1, so you can build level 1 on all them. So I could put more onto here and increase my military and my economy numbers further. I guess we'll just stay up here just so I can go through these things. Um, Everybody has the green guns to start. And if you look here, these are the green here. You can tell because if you see the number 9 under my name, that is saying it's a green planet. If you come down here, see the 30 is in blue. That means they're blue guns. That's kind of what you want to watch for, and the actual guns. Like if you're scoping out another planet here and you go in and check it out, the number will be whatever color the guns are. And it will also tell you how many. So when you see the green 9, that means there's 9 guns around the planet, and it's green, so they are level 1 guns. When you upgrade with this, which I had that on 2 other planets, so you can see that when I upgrade these, it only costs me 1 titanium. I think normally it is 9. So this here also gets to reduce if you lose a planet with this on. So if you spend 1 titanium, they're back to red. Now what red does, it says right here, 10 times better armor for orbital guns. So that basically would turn these 9, they would have the defense of 90. So it means they get killed a lot slower. So red guns are a lot stronger. They take longer to blow up, which means your guns have longer to attack. Um, and then when you go up to the blue ones, like down here, I think, yeah, it'll tell you here, they are 3 times more powerful. So I don't know what a good orbital gun does normally, but if it does whatever 100 damage, now it actually does 300 damage. That is pretty crazy when you start taking out ships 3 times faster, basically, especially when you have 30 guns shooting. It tears through them. And then the weapon range is increased from 12 to 18. So that means instead of them having to be like here, well, let's see, I don't know, probably right in here is around 12. Now they'll reach out to about here, 12 to 18. It just gives you that extra distance, and it's pretty, it makes it so that stuff like these, where these here have it says a weapon range of 6, but they have triple range. So if they have triple range, it means they can fire at 18. Well, these here, the blue guns, can fire at 18. So it pretty much nullifies the call. So if you know exactly how far these here can shoot and you place them right at the edge, as soon as those blue guns can see you, your call will get destroyed. So it's one of them things where, the blue guns make these obsolete, basically. Let me see here. What else is in here? Okay, yes, your repair crane. Let's go up here. Now this is going to be a little bit more expensive. The repair crane, it's 99 titanium. What that does is, it says it right in here again. Level 1 repairs your own units only, and it does 0.2% per minute. So every minute it will give you 0.2, so what, that's 5 minutes, and you gain 1% back. So a level 2 works at 1%, so that makes it 5 times faster. Now level 2 costs you 149. I just know this off experience. So if you buy the level 1, it costs you 99. You buy the level 2, it costs you 149, but it works 5 times faster. Now, it says level 2 repairs your allies as well. So if you have that on your home planet and you're logged in, people can come over and heal at your crane. If you log out, the repair station also goes away. So sometimes if you're going to build a better one, it's nicer to put it on a different planet. That way people can use it whenever you're offline. But the problem with that is it's more susceptible to getting blown up unless you're going to put blue guns on it. I do recommend keeping this on a non-home planet for the simple fact is when you want to heal your troops, well, first off, you don't want to keep your troops on your home world because your home world vanishes and then all these troops are just sitting out in space. So you want to keep them on a planet that's not going to disappear, and if you're healing them, it's going to heal them when you're offline. So that's another advantage to having a crane on your non-home planet. Group limit extension. When I first saw this, I thought that meant that like if you have, like these here have a maximum of 7. I thought, hey, if I get that, now they'll hold 8. No, that's not what that means. Um, as you can see, I have 3 of these bought, and as you can see, they get expensive in a hurry because it's 309 for me. I'm thinking 39 for the first one, 69 for the next one, 159, and now 309. They get a lot more expensive, but what that does is it allows you to have more groups. So like right now I have 2 planets. Typically I would only be able to have like 5 groups, 6 groups, something like that. Let me think. I got 3. I would have 7 groups would be my maximum. So I would be 2 out of 7 here. But because I have these 3 upgrades, I'm 2 out of 10. So I actually have 10 groups instead. Sensor flags. That increases the sight range around your planet. So if you want to be able to see the ships that are shooting at you, it's very handy because what ends up happening is like these ships here, they are the big ones. They have a weapon range of 11, but when they're bombing, it's 3 times that. They can see 30, or they can shoot at 33. Now their sight's only 15, so unless they have other ships in there attacking, which is usually what you do, and then they can shoot at full range and stay out of the range of your gun. But if you want to see them, that's where you got to increase this. It says increase sight range around Starbase to 30. So I'm thinking your normal range, like what this is probably 25, my guess. So that kind of gives you an idea here. So like if you want to use these, which they can shoot 18, they do get within sight range, so people can see that you're lining your ships up, getting ready to attack. If you're using these, people can't see them, so it's just a way to increase your sight range. Sensor jammer, from what I understand, is it makes it harder that if you have a ship sitting here and it can see, it makes it harder. So like this here is a sight range of 13. If you get the sensor jammer, increase the jammer radius around the star base to 2. Does, I guess that limits this down, so instead of being 13, it can only see 11. Something like that. But it limits the sight, so it makes it harder for them to see your planet. So it makes it harder for them to know how many guns you have around your planet. Um, the detection flanks. This here will detect cloak ship. That's pretty obvious. There are a few ships, like anything that says, like this here, Spelodon says disguised multi-purpose ship. Disguised means it's invisible. Uh, the the Rabo, this is probably one of the largest ships. This one's also disguised, and I believe this here Carta deck is also. I think they are the 3. I don't think any of the other ones are. Okay. This here detector is not invisible, but it can detect a cloak ship. So it's basically like a movable flanks. So if you get the flanks, you can detect mobile ships. You can also get the detector, and that can detect invisible ships. One's just mobile, that's all. Let me see here. This here, you will only have this option on your other bases. You can blow it up. It costs 9 titanium to blow your planet up. Uh, the reason for that, I guess, is because right now with this planet, I can't move to another area. You have to be down to just your home world, and then you can change maps. So having this in here is preventing me from changing maps right now. Um, and that is quite annoying. So I guess they figured they can get it that you end up spending titanium to move, which I think is dumb. I mean, obviously I used to have 12 planets. Now I'm down to 2, and I'm waiting for somebody to blow this planet up so I can go to another area. It's kind of annoying. So if it was free, I'd just blow it up and go. But I don't understand why it takes titanium to blow up a planet. You're losing your planet and you're spending money to lose a planet. To me, it's just dumb. But that's my opinion. This here, the military office. I have 3 on the map already. They are all taken care of from down here. Right there it is. The 3 of them are right here. What that does is instead of it being here where it's 100 every time you use a military center, a military office gives you 500. Now, right now that says 109 and this is only 1, so it's like, well, why wouldn't I just buy 5 of these, because that's 5 titanium compared to 109 titanium. You're correct on that, but I think this first one is like only 15. So does it make more sense, or 17 or 20, or it's something pretty low. So does it make sense to do 20 to get 500, or does it make sense to do 15 to get 100? Well, obviously it's cheaper to do this. So these are cheaper at first, but then these here become better. So I have 3 of these here, which would take my limit up 1500. So that's where I got 2500, which uh, that's half my upgrades. And then it must be that you get 15 of these, and that takes me from the 25 up to 4000. So your home planet can take you maximum. Your economy can go up to 2500 max, and your military can go up 4000 max. If you want more than that, you must go to a second planet and build upgrades there to get those numbers above that. Each planet can basically do 2500 of each, but since what happens is your home planet starts with 1000, this here's worth 1500, and then this here is worth 1500. So 1500, 1500, and 1000 is your 4000. The economy, it does not have the 500. Like there's no economy office station. So because of that, your economy goes up a little bit slower here, but that's why you can only go 2500 max and 4000 max. Now this planet here has none of those upgrades, but let's just say I went and clicked that. That would take my economy or my military up by another 100. Uh, Obviously, I can still do this, and it goes up by 500, but that would be 109, and it's definitely cheaper to use these at this point. Five of those, sorry, that's economy. Five of these military ones are definitely cheaper than one of these at this point. You just kind of want to watch that and jump back and forth based on whatever makes the most sense at the time. Um, yeah, let's drop back down here. Get into these upgrades. Last couple here. This is available on your home planet only. Immediate resources 30,000 Malvernite, metal, and Viridium. That instantly gives you 30,000 of each of these. That's how you get some of these larger ships. Because you do that in your home world. Some of these are expensive, and you can't even get them with the 30,000. Now, there are some things like if you just bought titanium, which I literally just bought titanium this weekend because of it being Christmas and the deal they're running. I just bought it, so when you do that, if you see underneath where it says titanium cost 15, I think the first time it runs it's 13, the second time it's 15. It does go up each time. I think there's a cap that it goes up to, and then that's what it is every time, but it does go up as you're starting out here. Uh, but it says 3 times amount activated. So if I did it right now because I just bought titanium, it's 3 times. If I click this for 15 titanium, I get 90,000 of each resource. Yeah, 90 million of each resource. So that opens it up to buying, what, like 2 Rabo? Yeah, pretty close. I'm just short of buying 2 Rabo. Um, but, like these Tigris and stuff like that, they are, you can get some of them pretty quick with 90 million of each. Now, I think that lasts a week. That if you buy it, you have a week to do this, and then the times 3 goes away. This here, you can see I got a check mark on this. Buying this is quite nice. What it ends up doing is it maxes out all these factories. I think the max level is like 15. Um, no, I think it was 16 on the mauve, metal, and viridium, and then the fuel was 15. Now, you're like, okay, well, why not just spend resources instead of spending titanium? Like, right now it says titanium 8, reduced newcomer price, remaining 5. I bought it on 5 planets that got blown up. When you redo this, it does not stay at 1 titanium. I think the first one is 4, and then it goes to 6, then it goes to 8, and then it has a maximum. But even with my reduced cost and having 5 that got blown up, it's still costing me 8 titanium to put it back on. I thought about putting it on here, but I'm waiting for this planet to blow up, so why max these out? The reason why you want to do this rather than this, if you look here, for my level 8 Viridium, it takes 3,840,000 Malvernite. That is hard. I think the max you can have storage-wise is about, well, just under 2 million. So to get it up to there, you're spending titanium to get your resources up to that high. So, sometimes it's good to use this. Sometimes it's good to actually do the upgrades. Like right now I got 11 million, so I can't store anymore because I'm over my 2 million max. So now would be a good time to actually do that. And in fact, why don't I do that anyway? Because whatever, so it gets blown up or whatever. But so we'll let that run for now, and it increases your speed of your resources and stuff like that. Let's see here. Resource accelerator. You get probably these two daily. Um, for 1 hour, it's 3 times faster. Now, the main thing that people don't realize about this is when you get one of these, if this is at your max, like whatever it was, 1.7 mil, if you run this, it ignores your maximum storage. So you can store way. If I click this 1 hour Malvern now for one titanium, this number will start going back up. It does not matter that I am maxed on it. This ignores your maximum and keeps producing until the timer is up. And this is also what will keep your homeworld logged in um, with that. Yeah, what am I looking for here? Yeah, here in your setup. That's where it was at. This here, it says the home base. If you're producing, if you have your resource acceleration running, it will keep it logged in. This is your resource acceleration. So if you have one of these running and that box checked, this planet will stay logged in and keep producing, even if you log out. So you kind of leave it um, up for attack, especially if you use one of these 15-hour ones. Um, but when you log back on for 15 hours, it's going to be producing 3 times faster. You're going to have a ton of resources, maybe even enough to get a Rabo, or some of them other ones. Let's see here. We'll go into this here building queue. Um, like if you want to build a bunch of Pola here, you can go into here and you can set it. Now the problem is to do 10 of them, it costs you 1 titanium. So if you're making Pola, and you're like, well, I can just do this and set it up and I'll make a whole lot of Pola while I'm offline. Every 10 costs you 1, so you're breaking even. So if you're making Pola, you're going to log in, you're going to have a whole bunch of Pola, but you're not going to have any extra titanium because this is eating it as fast as you're producing it. So like if you go up to 200, it's going to cost you 20. So you make 200 Pola, when you get back on, you didn't gain any Pola or any titanium. So this is my first thought was, hey, automate it and you can get Pola when you log back in, but it don't work that way. This here is, I believe this is only on your home planet, but it costs you money. Like say you're making some of these ships take a while. Uh, okay, so that one's 10 minutes. You, if you're making one of them and then you click this here, it will cost you titanium basically to have that time. Um, yeah, the only way I think that that's probably worth it, and oh, they are available up here. So yeah, the only time I think it's worth it is if you're building like one of these larger ships. Like that one takes 480 minutes. So to have them, it might be worth it, but it's probably quite expensive on titanium. 300 minutes. So there, that one's 5 hours. So yeah, so this is what 8 hours, I guess, is what it is. Well, that's a long time, especially if people see you're building it because now they know that you're building one of them, so they need to take you out. It gets complicated. So having those times would be pretty huge. Um, and that was the last one here. And then on non-home planets, you have this 15-hour production for all bases. Um, so I have not ever used this, but I guess what it's saying is right now I have 2 planets. So if I spent 30 titanium, it will give me whatever my 2 bases together would make in 15 hours or 18 hours. Yeah, 15 hours. It would do all that. So say in an hour I make a million, it would give me 15 million of Maldernit for 30 titanium. I'm not sure what this means by alternating. Does it do 15 hours of the one, 15 hours of the other? Um, but either way, like I said, I've never done these. I'm sure it is very helpful once you become a big player, but that's for bigger players, probably not stuff you're interested in. I just wanted to let you know what was going on with that. That pretty much goes through um, all the basics of this stuff. What I would now I want to just kind of go over some recommendations for a new player. Uh, One of the things you want to do, you have 10 bases when you start out. It's called planet capture. You want to capture planets, right? That's the main thing you want to do. Go out and capture as many planets as you can. Well, when you first start, like, say we go in here to 317. This is the newest one at this point. Give it a second to load everything, but you'll see orange planets appear up here. Orange, yellow, whatever you want to call them. Okay, those planets that have just appeared that are all yellow and orange, they are considered newbie planets. There is one gun on it at 15% health. If you're on a map with these on, go get them. Um, Once you hit 5 bases, so that's your home world and 4 other planets, you can no longer capture these orange and yellow planets. Um, it will keep you, because then you're not considered a newbie anymore. You're considered somebody who has more planets. Um, when you do that, that is where getting more planets actually slows your income down. If we go back here to the help files, production. See each base you get. So that first base you have is your home planet. Your factories work at 100%. When you get a second base, it drops it down to 70%. So if you get up to your 5 bases, you are actually going to be under 50% production. Now, that can really hurt a new player. So expanding too fast will hurt you in the beginning. I know it's called planet capture and you want to expand fast. You just have to do it right. Not to mention, every base you get, you need to build more guns. More guns means more economy it's taking up. The more economy your guns are taking up, the less buildings you can produce in the first place. So you really want to take it slow. I recommend get your second planets built up so that they're producing more, then take over a third planet. Once you get up to 7, 8, 9, 10 planets and you're producing okay, the penalty starts really dropping off. Yeah, I'll go back here one more time. Um, yeah, I think I came into the wrong thing. I want to go to help production here. Yeah, see, once you had 10, it's down at 31. So then if you go up to 16, I mean, that's 6 extra bases, and it goes from 31 to 25. The penalty does not hurt nearly as much. When you get up to 100 bases, you're down at 10% production, but you have 100 times more planets, if that makes sense. So the more bases you have, the less it hurts, but you got to get past that hurdle first. Um, so just to kind of keep that in mind. So don't go too fast or don't grow too fast. Main thing you want to do is make a whole bunch of these Pola. That you can be doing constantly. Um, if you do that, every 10 you get is a titanium. You should be shooting for, I would think, at least 50, 60 a day. I know people on in my alliance and stuff that they're saying they're getting 15 titanium a day, so they're making 150 ships a day. That's crazy, but that's awesome. I mean, usually what I do is once I hit my max group, um, I'll just send them in. Like if somebody else is attacking, these make uh, great ships to help your alliance attack another planet. If there's nobody else attacking and your alliance is lame and nobody or everybody's in the other maps, whatever, then you can just take these, run them into a planet, blow them up, make more. Don't worry about, oh, I don't want to lose my ships. Make the ships because you need a bunch of titanium. The more titanium you have, the better. Remember, these guns, to go to red guns, it only costs you 9. So you can do that in a day. So you can take your green guns like these. If you have, you know, you have a couple of them around your planet, you can take your green guns and make them red. It's only 9 titanium, and so you can do that in a day if you stay active. Um, when you are building ships other than Pola, know what you're building. Are you looking at that you want to attack another planet and try to take out the guns, or are you thinking, I want to make sure that I have more defense, that if somebody comes in to attack one of my planets, I want something to defend it? Um, the reason why you need to know, like this here, the Wenzel, if you look at the firepower, it says 15. This is the cheapest ship, the weakest ship, I should say, um, and it has you can make them in 15 seconds. So it doesn't take long to make them. They're in groups of 19, so they're these big groups of ships. If you make these are what are called a balanced ship because it has one number for the firepower. If we go to, okay, that's also a balanced ship, that's also a balanced ship, but if we go down here to the mall, see it says 1 to 50, and it says it's a light bomber good against orbital guns. So what that means is when it goes to attack a planet, against the guns, it can do 50 firepower. If it goes against another ship, so say I had a whole bunch of Maul and I wanted to attack the Pola, these Pola here, it will only do 1 damage each to the Pola. You ain't getting anywhere. You know, it's a battle that's going to take forever, and because neither one does damage. If you look over here at the Pola, they're the same way. Now they do 150 damage to guns, but only 1 damage to another ship. So these ships and these ships will be attacking each other, doing 1 damage each. It's going to take forever to blow up the ships. Compare that to these here Zaros, or the Zaris. They do 700 damage. So if it's 700 of these ships and one of these firing, that's about equal. So yeah, you want to definitely know what you're doing. Now likewise, you have the Cull, which when they are attacking a planet, they have triple weapon range. So instead of it being 6, which is what, like if they're attacking another ship, these will actually do 2 damage. It will do twice as much damage, but it's also a lot more expensive. These are, but if you look at the Pola do 150, these do 500. You might still say, well, it's still not worth the extra cost. The difference is these Pola, their weapon range is 10. They got to be pretty close before they start firing. What's nice is this weapon range is 6, but it's triple range when it's attacking a gun. So that means it can be at a range of 18 and still firing. That's out here. The guns, well, red and green guns cannot shoot that far. So these can actually sit outside firing range and shoot from a distance so that you can send Pola in so that you can see the ship or see the planet, and then these here can actually fire from the outside range. It's a very common way of doing things. So when you're building your ships, know what you're doing. Now, if you want defense around your planet so that when other people are coming in, that they hit that and they have the guns and your ships to deal with, these here are pretty crazy. See, these here are actually good against other ships. These Dodexa, I guess. I refer to them as a Daud because when you make them, it just says D-A-U-D. So, yeah, the Dauds here, they do 1,750 damage against other ships, and they still do 70 damage against planets. So they're not horrible, but they're definitely designed to take out other ships. So if you have these sitting on your planet and somebody comes to attack you, they will attack the ships and hopefully prevent the ships from attacking your base. So it's a little weird, but if they're ship-to-ship attackers, I consider them defense. If they are ship-to-planet, I consider them offense. And if they're only have one number, then you can consider them balanced. That way, you want to make sure you know what you're doing. If you're just going, hey, I want to take over planets, then you don't really want to build ship to ship. Forget the ship to ship. Just build stuff to take over planets. If you're worried about defense when you log off, then you probably want to put these around on your other bases. Just kind of know the difference between the different types of ships. And then I mentioned this earlier, do not leave ships. Like if I was logging off, I don't want to leave these ships here unless I don't care if I lose them. If I don't care that I lose them, then you can let them here. But when I log off, this planet disappears. Somebody could just fly through here, take out all my ships. It doesn't matter. So I should be putting them on this planet up here. The problem is on your home planet, these are cheaper ships to build. Some of these you cannot build up here. So, like, if you look in here, there's no Pola here. You can only build the Pola on your home planet. So that's why, a lot of times you have ships just sitting in the middle of nowhere because maybe at one point there was a home planet here, so you go flying up through here, and or like this here, home planet, that's what that H stands for. So that home planet makes ships, and then you bring your ships up through here, and there's ships just sitting there, and you're like, well, why are they just sitting there? That's why they made those ships on their home planet, logged out, and then the ships are just sitting there for you to come blow up, which gives you your quest for reward. So not horrible. Um, and then if you are new, you really want to avoid anything that's not green. That would be the other big thing because they do get a lot more powerful fairly quickly. So if you're attacking the base and it's not a green number, then you're just throwing your ships away. Don't try to go after anything else other than green if you're new. Um, but yeah, unless, well, I guess there is one thing. If you wanted to work on getting these rewards, then go ahead and sacrifice your ships because, like here, I was attacking red planets and I was just basically blowing my ships up. I really didn't care. But if I can get up to 100%, that's 3 million and 2 million. You're like, well, that's not that much because of your maximums and stuff. But what ends up happening is like this here ship. It takes 3 million metal and 1 million viridium. The problem is your metal maxes out when it hits like 1.7 million, and Viridium maxes out at like 750,000. You can't get up here unless you spend titanium. Or if you get the rewards, then you can get this shit. The Altero is another one, and same with the Brom Bromtaran. That one there is also another one that is a really good ship to ship. And if you end up getting those rewards, you can actually get that. So it is beneficial to try to take on red planets, but if you're going to take on red and blue planets, you definitely need better ships than the Maul and the Pola. I mean, you'll get nowhere. Um, well, anyway, that's my first video here for you with a tutorial. This here was just the basics. My next video that I'm going to do, hopefully not too much longer from now, but that'll be your basic game mechanics that gets into some of the stuff about second planet's only 70%, and it starts to get into some of these different mechanics and stuff like that. Um, and then I'm going to do another video that gets more into the advanced mechanics, which actually gets into, uh, well, a lot of equations, a lot of numbers, a lot of, building uh, your planets so that they're as good as they can be without being susceptible to attacks, stuff like that. And then I'm probably going to do a fourth video that'll be kind of like my overall thoughts, reviews, uh, what I think where the game should go. I mean, if I was making the game, stuff that I would do to make it more playable. Um, I mean, to me, it really is, since you need titanium for everything, it's pretty much a play to win. But like I said, if you get wiped out, you just move to, you just move to another place and you start over and you play again. It's not like it costs you anything. Um, but it's the people that put the money into the titanium that basically dominate every map. When you start on a map like this, like if I went to 317, well, let me just show you how you do that in case you don't know. You go into setup here and it goes change home map. So you click this here and it says right here, you can only change your home map if you only have one base in the game. So you got to, since I have two bases, I can't move. You also have to be under 2,000 points, and you can only do it once every 5 days. Um, and then this tells you what you get to take along. Um, but if you do that, and you can do that every 5 days, which every map opens up every 7 days. So you can switch there, play for 5 days, like I could, if I was able to do it. I could come here to 317. Obviously, with the amount of resources and stuff I have and the knowledge and stuff, I can come in here. I would be considered newbie again because I have under 5 bases. So I can come in here, take over a couple of these maps or a couple of these planets here, and basically reestablish myself here. In a week, the wormholes open up, which this is um, something I'd get into later, but the wormholes allow you to travel between map to map. So these wormholes open up people come through here, and then that's when the top players come through and they wipe you out. So they wipe you out, and you kind of go to the next map, which might be whatever 323 at that point. And you kind of do the same thing over and over again. So that's that's kind of what you do if you're not paying to win. But like even me, that I bought titanium twice now, and I'm still getting pushed around. So it's one of them things where I think it's a very much pay to win game, but it is still playable and fun for people who are not paying to win. Um, but I'd get into that a little bit more. That's going to be my fourth video. Please subscribe, click the bell when those new videos come out, then you'll know. And I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned some stuff, and I hope you come back for the next couple videos after this. All right, well, until next time, have a good one.